Hi, in this session, we'll talk about Data QnA, a new Google Cloud service that Veolia is using to democratize access to BigQuery. I'm Abhishek Kashyap, Product Manager for Data QnA and BigQuery ML at Google Cloud.
Hello, I'm Fabrice Nico. Thanks a lot to Google for the invitation. I've been working at Veolia for 9 years. I'm part of the IT department and in charge of all subjects related to data and robotic subjects for the group function support. And my main customer are finance, procurement, HR, legal departments.
Thank you, Fabrice, for joining us today. In terms of the agenda, we'll start by introducing Data QnA, which, as the name suggests, is a natural language-based question-answer service for getting insights on your BigQuery data by just typing a question wherever you are. We will follow it up with a discussion on Veolia, which will be led by Fabrice. Let us start with Data QnA. As I mentioned, I'm a product manager for BigQuery ML, which is another product at Google Cloud to do machine learning. We have a product dashboard for various metrics that I need to track to do my day-to-day job. But I do have a lot of ad hoc questions every now and then because a dashboard cannot contain all the charts that I might need in the future. As I show in this example, when I want to know how many on-demand customers used BigQuery ML last week, I have to go file a ticket, and the developer has to add a new chart to the dashboard. That takes hours to days, which delays me in doing my work, but more than that, it is a distraction for the developer as they have to stop doing their day job and take care of this simple chart. With Data QnA, now I'm just able to go and ask that question using text and get the answer right away. And I do not have to bother the developer whenever I have a question like this. So what we are doing here is democratizing access to insights by enabling users to ask questions in natural language on BigQuery data. When we say democratization, let us see what it entails. In this case, I could ask a question in free-form text. I did not have to know the underlying data at all. I could just talk in what we call business speak rather than data speak, which is what you need for a broad set of users to use this. There is information provided, which in this case is an interpretation of the question that I read, and that formed trust for me in knowing that it is answering what I asked for and the answer is correct. Fourth, I can go access it in an interface I work in. In this case, this was Google Sheets. I, as a business user, am working in spreadsheets a lot, so I did not have to go open a SQL editor and type it in there to get the answer I needed. And finally, the BigQuery governance and access policies that have been defined are all taken care of automatically. There is no chance that somebody without access to this confidential customer information would be able to go and get access to this data from this new natural language interface. The vision for Data QnA is for any business user to go to their interface of choice, which could be a chatbot, a spreadsheet, or a BI platform, ask a question through natural language, and get an answer back. Data QnA parses the question that is asked, identifies the intent and the entities, matches those to the underlying data, generates a SQL, and returns an answer to the end user. And from this, we see three key benefits. One, any business user with the appropriate access can go ask a question and get insights when they need it without having to wait for somebody else to add a chart to the dashboard. Second, the BI team, which usually responds to these ad hoc requests, can be freed up and they can focus on more critical tasks. And finally, we enable access through multiple interfaces, so it is available wherever users work. During the alpha, this is natively available through Google Sheets and BigQuery Web UI. We also have APIs which would allow you to embed Data QnA into a chatbot or your own custom UI, so you can make it available in whatever tool your business users work in. Now let us see Data QnA in action. We have some open source data from Instacart that contains transaction information along with information on the items, the location, and the member loyalty. We set up Data QnA once, and we will show you how you can ask questions and get insights on 3 different interfaces: a Google Chat chatbot, Google Sheets, or the BigQuery Web UI. The experience on Sheets is similar. Sheets has a feature called Connected Sheets that allows you to connect to a BigQuery table and analyze that table through the spreadsheet itself. With Data QnA, you can start asking questions on that data as well. In this case, the UI is richer, and we are able to even auto-suggest entities that help users get a better experience and make less errors in writing these questions. To illustrate some of the more advanced capabilities, an example question here is to compare the average price between 2 products, which are values in one of the columns in the underlying data. And as you can see, we do return the SQL as well for a more advanced user to validate. And there is a feedback button using which a user can signal whether the answer was correct or not. And all of this information is passed in to the person who set up Data QnA, who can view this feedback and improve the service for the end user. The third demo is on the BigQuery UI. Now, we have SQL analysts who are proficient in SQL who usually come use the BigQuery UI. However, as you can see from one of these example queries, some of the queries can take time to write. So we have added Data QnA as a productivity function to the BigQuery UI. So you can just type a question, it would generate a query for you that you can populate into the SQL editor and continue to edit it or run it as is. To summarize the features that we just showed, with Data QnA, you can ask a question in free-form text without having to know the underlying data, but you can use business terminology. Using Google Knowledge Graph, we understand common synonyms. We auto-suggest column names and data values. These are available through the API. We do accept typos. So if a user makes an error, we do not fail. We come back with the right value. And if we do not understand the question fully, we return a clarification. We are optimized for precision versus coverage. So if we are not sure, we'll just ask, did you mean X or did you mean Y? We have a setup that enables answering incomplete questions. As an example, if I just said top products and did not mention I wanted by revenue, revenue could have been set up as a default metric, and we will return an answer just by saying top products. If your tables are date partitioned, we do query the right partition to optimize the costs. And for all BigQuery governance and cost controls that you have set up, we will work with those out of the box. I mentioned setup. The reason we have a setup component is twofold. One, not all data is clean. So we have many customers who have created views for powering end user dashboards, which have their clean data that is trusted by the organization. Data QnA can be enabled on all of those views and provide the right answer to the end users. Second, we do want you to add business domain specific synonyms to the individual columns in your data. So the business users do not have to ask questions using column names, which, as we know, could be anything, but they can use the business terminology they use day in and day out. Finally, we show reports of all questions being asked and the results as well as the status, whether it was successful or it failed, in a dashboard to the person who sets up these tables or views for Data QnA. So you can continuously monitor these and improve the service if something is not being answered or if some answer does not look correct. With that, I will hand it over to Fabrice to talk about Veolia.
Hi, Fabrice speaking. Thanks a lot, Abhi, for your introduction. I'm here today to tell you a story about how we support our businesses with innovative and digital solutions. More precisely, how we reach its target with Google support and little bit of imagination. The touch of imagination is called ISA, but we will see this idea later. For those who don't know Veolia yet, we will provide services around 3 main businesses around the world. Water, waste, and energy are the heart of our activities, operated by 178,000 employees through 5 continents. Veolia's mission is to resource the world. We contribute to developing access to resources, preserving and replenishing them. An example is 98 million people supplied with safe drinking water, 42 million people provided with collection services, or again, 41 million megawatt hour produced per year. Veolia's strategic program called Impact 2023 had the objective to make Veolia the benchmark company for ecological transformation. To support this program, the Veolia IT department has started since over the past year multiple digital transformation programs. An example, in 2013, with Gmail adoption for the entire group, or in 2017, with digital workplace setting up and public cloud adoption. And finally, in 2019, with bringing data value to our businesses. Strong IT foundation built so far by IT departments support objectives of Impact 2023 strategic program. To be concrete and give you an example of difficulty we've got within Veolia, and I think concern a lot of companies around the world, I would like to tell you a story about how we can democratize the information access. In my previous life, when I was a consultant, to find valuable information was like to be a hunter in the jungle. If you don't have the right networking, it's really an impossible mission. And finally, if you catch it, this one will be out of date or only readable by an expert. Offering right information to the right population at the right moment, it's really a challenge. Who has never been upset in meeting not to get access directly and quickly to your own information, to the crucial data essential to the decision making? I think about CFO who wants on-demand and immediately to access to revenue or EBITDA figures for a specific organization. Or service manager who wants to find quickly his remaining budget anywhere, anytime, and from any devices. Our dream is to democratize access to information and let businesses, the owner, on information. Information should be available instantly and on demand in a simple way, and business must be confident with it. How we succeed to fulfill this business requirement? Firstly, thanks to the Veolia strategy and transformation atmosphere. Management supported us and pushed us to be disruptive, and above all, gave us the means and the tools to meet the challenges related to our transformation. Secondly, thanks to the training program, new IT skills, digital communities have been engaged by IT department to facilitate our transformation. And third, thanks to the technical tools and partnership with Google. Platform as a service and Google Advices speed up the availability of our solution. For instance, origin of our solution comes from exchanges with Google and from analyzer document dedicated to exploring data with conversation. This context allowed us in 4 months to offer a new digital solution based on data lake concept and chatbot to our businesses. Our solution is called ISA and democratize and streamline the access to the information in order to optimize the decision process making. Our concept is based on 3 pillars: information, self-services, and access, ISA. Information, because data is gold and is essential to the decision making. Self-service, to let business become self-sufficient about data management. And access to the information need to be implicitly simple and quick. Our ISA solution was put in live a few months ago and helped our business to adopt the digital transformation. A quick demo showing how ISA works today. User asks question in Hangout chat to ISA. Answer is displayed in a small card with a web link. I want to click on that. Information is published in a data studio pre-filtered, showing this information. It's really an accelerator to consume information in a simple way. And after ISA, what's next? We never stopped our collaboration with Google team. A new solution as QnA looks like a good way to upgrade our ISA solution. These new and innovative functionalities will open up a data assets view to 360-degree to our business. What are the main functionalities we tested and we found interesting to be integrated to ISA? The first is the capabilities of QnA to offer in real time multiple comparison analysis based on data available from the data lake environment. Second one is to produce in the tool multiple charts based on previous analysis related to a question. Benefit for us if it's the acceleration of the proposal of several answers without configuration by the development team. Other great features based on the multiple suggestions offered by QnA appear as an accelerator to the adoption of the solution. And last one, but not least, QnA offers a configuration console to enrich easily and quickly the user experience. And again, this feature optimizes the time to configure new answers. In conclusion, integration of QnA into our ISA solution is eagerly awaited in order to offer our businesses a new user experiences. Thanks, Abhi, for this time, and I'll let you carry on this presentation.
Thank you, Fabrice, for providing us with insights on how you are planning to use Data QnA to extend your ISA solution. I'll wrap up by talking about the pricing and pointing to some resources to get you started. In terms of pricing, Data QnA is not going to have any additional charge. You can use Data QnA and ask questions in natural language, just like you could write a SQL query and get an answer. The only charge is going to be for the underlying BigQuery queries that get executed. And you pay for them if you use on-demand pricing model. If you use BigQuery reservations, you can use your slots as is. When we set up, we do index the data values in the table to provide capabilities like auto-suggest. That does carry a charge within BigQuery or use your slots. And finally, Data QnA could require integration with a chatbot or custom UI. And you may also need some help with the setup and management on individual data sets that you want to enable Data QnA on. We have partnered with some key Google Cloud partners to help you get started. Please do reach out to them if you are working with these to get started with Data QnA. As a next step, if you are interested in participating in the alpha, please reach out to your Google point of contact or just fill the form at the link below and we will get back to you. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Thank you.